Our story of grit starts off in Long Island, New York, or on Long Island, New York. We were church planting there. We'd gone there with the North American Mission Board. And honestly, before that, we would have told you we were gritty, but it was all a theory. You know, we knew that God was faithful. We knew that He was good, but it was, you know, but our faith had never really been tested. You know, we moved back, probably a couple of years later after that, back to South Carolina to lead the BCM ministry in Columbia. There's just so much to do. It's such a big campus at USC. Trying to just meet students and see them come to faith, share the gospel. But God did. He grew that ministry, and then immediately, we had tripled in size numbers at one of our meetings, and then a week later, everything comes crashing down because of COVID. And we had a few months after that, and we're getting ready for Converge, you know, the big collegiate ministry weekend that happens in the state.
It was our first gathering, large group gathering post-COVID, where everybody was together. We weren't doing anything virtual. We were meeting. I leaned over and kissed Annabeth, my daughter's forehead. And I said, you feel a little warm. Let me just check your temperature. And so it was like a low-grade temperature, 99 point something, but my mammomethometer, which I call it, my little kiss, is always accurate. And, you know, any other time, a little teeny tiny fever wouldn't have made me nervous, but I thought, oh my goodness, the last thing we need to do is spread COVID around this, you know, Converge this weekend. So I'm just going to go have you tested just to be on the safe side. And when the doctor called me that afternoon, and said, she has lymphadenopathy in her chest, so swollen lymph nodes in her chest. So we go back for the results, and she pulls up the scan, and it's lit up everywhere. So she was diagnosed with stage 3. Sorry. She was diagnosed with stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And we just looked at that PET scan, and we just had silent tears just, you know, flowing down our faces. And it was just really, really hard.
I remember being in that season and being in worship service, and I was thankful. I remember even thanking God sometimes before I would preach during the singing and the worship aspects of that. I remember being thankful that I had to wear a mask in the service, because as my daughter's being diagnosed with cancer, we were singing songs about the goodness of God. You know, so I wish we could say that, you know, through all that, ministry has been easy. You know, it hasn't been. It's been, you know, there have been seasons where we have just had to be faithful because God has us where we are. We grit our teeth, and we just say we're going to move forward, and we're going to do what God's called us to do, and we're going to know that this does not depend on us, but we're going to know that this depends on His faithfulness, that He really is good in the midst of this.